Hey, what's up? Sean here with a quick note before today's episode. It was a very fun one, I should say off the top. James Herbert of CBS Sports stopped by. We talked a little Pascal Siakam before we played HoopGrids, inspired by the Toronto Raptors. It's a very fun online game. If you've not yet played, go check it out. But because we got so deep into the HoopGrids, we went far too long on today's episode. So you'll hear me reference doing 3 HoopGrids. We'll only get to 2 on today's show, but the third one will be available as a bonus video on the Locked On Raptors YouTube channel. So go subscribe to the YouTube channel, catch that extra bonus HoopGrids segment with myself and James, and enjoy today's show. On your Wednesday episode of Locked On Raptors, there is news about Pascal Siakam that's not news, that's disguised as news, so we'll talk about that and the latest on Siakam, plus HoopGrids, baby! And it's a very well-named Raptors-themed version of HoopGrids that we're playing with the Duke of HoopGrids himself, James Herbert of CBS Sports. It's all coming up on today's episode. Thanks so much for hanging.
You are Locked On Raptors, your daily Toronto Raptors podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, what's going on? And welcome to another episode of Locked On Raptors, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. It is Wednesday, August the 9th. And I'm your host, Sean Woodley. I've been covering the Toronto Raptors now for 9 seasons on various platforms. You can find all my work over on Twitter at WoodleySean. You can follow the show on Instagram at Locked On Raptors. And, of course, come hang out in the Locked On Raptors Discord server. Great place to come and hang out. Spiral, if you will. Talk about HoopGrids. Talk about Blue Jays baseball. It's all going on in the Locked On Raptors Discord. Come hang out among friends in the Discord. Link is in the description. As always, if the link is expired, shoot me a DM and I'll get it to you as well. All right. Let's get to it. On today's show, which is brought to you today by FanDuel, the official sportsbook of Locked On. Make every moment more. Visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn today. We are going to play a little HoopGrids, but it's going to be a Raptors-themed version with a very strained Toronto Raptors pun as the title. We'll reveal that a little bit later on. But we're going to start off by bringing in our guest to talk about the latest news that is not news from Shams Charania at The Athletic about Pascal Siakam before we introduce the HoopGrids gauntlet that I'm going to run James through. James Herbert of CBS Sports is here. James, how the hell are you, man?
Feeling good. Feeling super confident that I'm going to destroy this HoopGrids game. I don't know. We'll see.
Look, I called you the Duke of HoopGrids off the top for a reason. You have to be one of the very best HoopGrids players playing the game in the world right now. It's really impressive. You make me crazy every single time I see your posts, sometimes because you've spoiled them a little early before I've gotten to it. That's fine. I just don't pick the guys you've picked, and I'd never do as well as you anyway, so it doesn't matter. Either way, that's for later in the show. Let's, I guess, get into the news, if you will, of the day. It's not really news, but Shams Charania had a latest sort of update on where things stand with the big trade chips left out there this offseason. James Harden, Damian Lillard, and of course, Pascal Siakam of your Toronto Raptors, reporting stuff that we haven't really heard anything like. This is all not exactly new. Talking about the Hawks as sort of the main suitor, kicked around the idea of a DeAndre Hunter and AJ Griffin plus pick compensation deal that the Raptors reportedly turned down. James, let's just kind of get this out of the way. It's the news of the day that people want to hear about, but where are you at with this Pascal stuff? He's an expiring deal, obviously. He's very good, obviously. They could extend him. He might want to hold out and wait for Supermax if he can make All-NBA this season. There's a lot of different sort of balls in the air with the Siakam situation, but ultimately, where do you come down on should the Toronto Raptors keep Pascal Siakam in their employ?
I mean, it's hard to answer because I think they should try and see what's out there, which they've clearly done. But it's hard for me to sit here and say they should absolutely trade him when the offer that you just read out loud was Hunter, Griffin, and some picks, and we don't even know how good those picks are, right? So if you're the Raptors,
it should be noted they don't really have any picks. They've traded 3 picks for DeJounte Murray. They have their own pick in 2024, but if they have Pascal Siakam on the team, it's probably not going to be a very good pick. So carry on.
I mean, that's a good point. It's like the Hawks aren't the most equipped to send the Raptors an appealing package like that is built around draft picks. So you'd have to really love Hunter and or Griffin. I probably wouldn't I definitely wouldn't accept that package if I were Toronto. That doesn't mean I wouldn't trade Siakam. But I think that's kind of also where the Raptors are. Like they don't want to trade an all NBA caliber player for like, I don't know, like 75 cents on the dollar, 50 cents on the dollar, like whatever you want to call a package like that. But at the same time, the roster's weird. They've lost quite a bit when then like Fred VanVleet walked out the door and they replaced him with Schroeder, I guess. There's not a ton of spacing on this roster. Siakam's not a bad shooter. He doesn't have a ton of gravity off the ball either. There's some overlapping skill stuff with him and Barnes, and to a lesser extent Anunoby. Like it makes sense as kind of a pivot point. Like if they were to trade Siakam this summer, like I think everybody would get it. And it wasn't shocking to find out that they'd been shopping him and looking around and all of that. But I mean, based on the Raptors' track record over the last few years, like they have been open to kind of like almost anything if they thought that it was the most prudent decision at the time, whether that means buying or selling. Basically, it seems like they have talked about / shopped everybody on the roster except for Scotty Barnes. So yeah, I'm not like totally surprised by anything in this report. Just I'm not surprised with, like, more broadly speaking, the fact that the Raptors have looked into trading Siakam and they haven't yet. It's probably best for everybody if they do find a trade between now and the start of the regular season, but not if that trade is crappy. And that's kind of where I stand.
There's the rub. Yeah, I guess I've come down on, I think they should just roll into the season with him. Try to extend him this summer if you can, because he's an all-NBA player who I don't think is going to age particularly poorly on his next deal. And you can just have him on your team for the next 4 or 5 years. And I think that's a perfectly fine thing to do. You have to probably reimagine the roster around Scotty Barnes and Pascal Siakam. But I don't think that those two guys can't work together. It just doesn't work with the current roster construction they have. To me, you start with the best players and then figure out the rest later, not work the other way. But that's just me. Where are you at? Just like if they go into the season with this team, if it's just, you know, Scotty's playing point, you've got like a Scotty, OG, Gary Trent, Pascal, Jakob starting 5. You've got Schroeder, Grady Dick, Precious Achiuwa, Jalen McDaniels, maybe Otto Porter Jr. found his toe. I don't know. What's your sort of projection for this team, James? Like, are you especially high on them? Do you think it could be kind of grim? Like, I think their defense stands a chance of being excellent. I think their offense stands a chance of being equally not excellent. And I kind of come feeling like high 30s is sort of the spot I'll predict them at right now. But that's subject to change. Where are you at with your sort of, you know, very, very early read on what this Raptors team can do?
Yeah, I think that's reasonable. I think there's a world in which they eclipse that. There's a world in which they're like, you know, a play-in team, or like, I mean, they're probably not getting out of the play-in without like any kind of move whatsoever. But I mean, it could be a team that makes it a win-now move at some point. Like, there's still a lot of talent on the team, even without VanVleet. I just have a whole bunch of questions. So it's like, is Scotty the starting point guard? Like that, like you said that, like, well, if that's the starting 5, blah, blah, blah. Like, I don't know that is. Like, maybe Schroeder is starting and it's Trent coming off the bench or something.
You can't do
like
that, man. There's no shooting at all. There's none.
Yeah, but I mean, we'll just see. Like, I just, that is the rub with this team, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, it was the same thing as last year. Like, there's a decent amount of talent. There's a little less now, I guess, but there's still like a decent amount of talent. There's just the depth is questionable and the shooting is not really there. Like, I think they're going to need Otto Porter to play a role simply because he is a somewhat tall person who can shoot threes. And like, I think he could have made an actual impact on the team last year had he remained healthy. I think they're going to need Grady Dick to come in and be in the rotation from day one. In Summer League, might have caught some people by surprise. I mean, he is not just a standstill shooter by any means. He can move. He can plays against closeouts. I think the passing reads he was making off the dribble were pretty good. Good rebounder. Like, I could see him being in the rotation and being pretty good. I could see Porter, if he plays just like he did with the Warriors 2 years ago, if he's in the rotation and pretty good, then like, all right, like you might be cooking something off the bench this time, which is different from the past couple of years. But I expect the starting 5 to be a lot worse than it was from the deadline onward, because that was an awesome group that was like very overshadowed by the fact that when you changed like really any one of those parts, it was no longer awesome. But I thought they at least found something there. So as it's constructed, I mean, they're kind of a mediocre team, probably below 500 would be the projection right now, but I want to see how it works. Like, The ironic thing is you bring in a new coach and you say, oh, let's change the culture, do a whole different style and whatever. And like, unless they make some kind of move to balance this thing out and get more shooters out there, like I don't know how differently they can play. Like the advantages that they have over other teams are their length and athleticism and potentially the ability to pound the glass and score in transition and all of that stuff, which is already what they were trying to exploit last year.
Yeah, schemes and vibes only going to take you so far. We'll see. Weird team, interesting team, if nothing else. We will keep tabs on the Pascal thing, obviously, as we trudge through August and into September. I'm not expecting anything anytime soon, but we'll see. Again, I'm fully expecting that while I'm on vacation the next 2 weeks, it's going to happen. Let's come back on the other side and do what we're really here for, man. We're playing HoopGrids, except we're playing a really fun version of the game that I have concocted with a very, very good and excellent pun that everyone's going to like as the title of it. We'll come back and play that in just 1 second. Before we do that, however, got to tell you about our good friends over at FanDuel, the #1 place to go and bet on your favorite sports. Football season is about to kick off, and FanDuel is giving you the chance to win all season long, because right now when you bet on a Super Bowl winner, you can get bonus bets every time they win in the regular season. That's just like having a friend throughout the whole year that's just taking care of you, because you've picked them to win the Super Bowl. Every time they win a regular season game, you're going to get bonus bets that you can go and play as well. You can just pick any team. Doesn't matter, whoever it is. Just if you pick the team that's going to win the most regular season games, even if you don't think they got it for the playoffs. Either way, you can use your bonus bets on spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. So visit FanDuel.com/lockedon and start earning bonus bets with America's #1 sportsbook. That's FanDuel.com/lockedon. Be sure to go check them out. FanDuel.com/lockedon, official sportsbook of Locked On and of the NFL. All right, we are here now for the main event of today's show. We've got HoopGrids to play with a very good Raptors-themed title that we'll get to in a second. Before we dive in and put James's Raptors knowledge to the test, we are going to ask him, how does he freaking do it? James, you're really good at HoopGrids. You drive me crazy with how good you are at it. What's your strategy? What are your secrets? Do you cheat? Do you just scroll Basketball Reference in the lead up to various days and try to find guys and think, that's a guy I'm going to get one day? What's your sort of strategy here on how you become the king of the 99% HoopGrids?
I don't do that, but I do find myself just having like intrusive thoughts of random NBA players just throughout the day and thinking in my head, like, I wonder if I can use that guy. Like maybe eventually I'll get him. But no, I mean, there's no real grand strategy. The advantage that I have that I won't have today is that I can get as many wrong as I want before getting it right. And like, if you're just patient, then you can eventually get a bunch of guys with like really low scores. And the key is just not settling, I think. But we'll see how this one goes. I mean, the truth is, like, I grew up collecting basketball cards, and I've spent my entire like adult professional life covering basketball and spending way too much time thinking about it. So I just have like a lot of dumb information in my brain. And I'm probably not as well-rounded of a person as I should be. But that, I mean, beyond that, I mean, I don't really know what to say. Like, I'm the basketball nerd, just like you guys are. Just like you are, Sean, and probably you guys listening are too.
Yeah, I will say, it's not like I'm any slouch. I know I'm pretty good at it. I usually end up in like the 94 to 97% range with my grids. I will say...
I was less than that last night. I'm coming off my worst grid in a while.
I think everybody is. Last night was tough. Again, I haven't even finished last night's just yet. If you haven't played HoopGrids, by the way, which I feel like if you're an NBA fan and you haven't played yet, you're under a rock. HoopGrids, just search hoopgrids.com. Basically, it's like Sudoku, but for basketball guys. You'll see the sort of basic core idea of the game in just a second here, but if you want to go fiddle around with it, before you listen into the rest of the show, press pause, go to hoopgrids.com, and play some of the latest grids. My sort of secret for it, I think, is I played a lot of NBA 2K between 2002 and 2008, and so sometimes it'll be like, oh, Kelvin Cato will pop into my head, and it just becomes like, oh, that's a beautiful 0.3% guy. Also, I'm pretty good at remembering like random dudes involved in trades, like sort of side characters in trades, and that often helps with the sort of crossover of team situation. Either way, there's no one good way to be good at HoopGrids. It's there's all sorts of different avenues to being great. It's like baseball pitching. James, let's stop beating around the bush. You want to play HoopGrids, the Toronto Raptors version that I'm about to reveal the name of in just a second?
Yeah, let's name some guys.
All right, let's name some guys indeed. The game is called Gridstian Koloku. It's a very good name. Everybody agrees. Gridstian Koloku? Yes. It's really good. I don't know what to say. It's really, really excellent. My wife just booed me from the next room. I heard her boo me through the wall.
I love it.
So, yeah, that's what we're going to do here. I've got 3 created for you here, James. Who knows if this is going to be good podcasting? I have no idea. We'll try to describe what's on the screen for you as best we can for the audio listeners. It will be an audio-friendly game. I won't be able to fill in the names as we go, but I will keep track as we go through it. So the first Gridstian Koloku I have come up with for you, James. Again, really good name. It's unbelievable. Is this. We've got... On the top left, we've got Toronto Raptors as the team. We got Toronto Raptors as the team on the both top left. You just got to pick a guy who only played for the Toronto Raptors in that slot. You're going top middle. We've got a Toronto Raptor who also played for the Minnesota Timberwolves. And top right, under 5 points per game season by a Toronto Raptor. Then we've got a Toronto Raptor coached by Dwane Casey. Easy enough. Of course, Dwane Casey has not only coached the Toronto Raptors, so get as obscure as you want here. A Minnesota Timberwolf coached by Dwane Casey in the middle. Also, he used to coach the Timberwolves, so this opens up Timberwolves lore to you as well. And then a coached by Dwane Casey player under 5 points per game on the middle right. Bottom row, we've got a Raptor who was a Mo Pete teammate, a Minnesota Timberwolf who was a Mo Pete teammate, and an under 5 point per game guy who was a Morris Peterson teammate. James, are you ready to start picking some guys? We are going to do this immaculate grid style. We are stealing it from baseball. And so you're not so much going for rarity score. You're just going to fill in all 9 guys on this thing as we go.
No, but I still want to do rare.
Okay, go as rare as you want. I'll be impressed if you can pull off some rare. But I'm not holding you to such a standard. But if you want to go for extra points, by all means, go nuts.
All right. We go top left, Raptor, Nathan Jawai.
Nathan Jawai. That is incorrect.
That's incorrect?
Yet, he did not just play for the Raptors.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, I should have gone with what I did when that was actually a thing, and I went for Vincenzo Esposito.
Is Vincenzo Esposito your pick?
Well, I can still do it?
I mean, if you want, sure.
All right, just give me Esposito.
Vincenzo Esposito is in there, a guy who played a grand total of 30 NBA games for the Toronto Raptors back in 1996, averaged 3.9 points per game. So the rarity score high there. What do you got for your next pick here, James?
Let's go for a Timberwolf who was Mo Pete's teammate. Oh my God, this actually could be wrong. I'll go, I think Lauren Woods.
That is correct. Lauren Woods played for the Minnesota Timberwolves for 2 seasons and lined up with Mo Pete during the 04-05 and 05-06 season. So you got 2 guesses correct on 3 so far.
Wonderful. Let's go Raptors under 5 points per game season.
Raptors under 5.
So top right. I'll go Sundiata Gaines. This is actually
Sundiata Gaines.
What if he just averaged more than 5 points in
That is the danger you run with some of these weird dudes who Dan O'Sullivan I think stands out as a big weird guy who had a lot of points. No, Sundiata Gaines averaged. Let's see here. Pull it up. It's very slow. That's fine. It's Basketball Reference's fault. 5.8 points per game in his one season for the Raptors in 6 games. So you are wrong. Trying to get too cute with Sundiata Gaines. You're at 2 for 4. You've got 5 guesses remaining.
Raptor coached by Dwane Casey. I'll go John Lucas III.
Ooh, John Lucas III. That lines up correct. 2013.
What, do you want me to say DeMar DeRozan?
No. I thought he might be a little bit early. I thought he might be a Jay Triano guy. But no, you're good. John Lucas III is correct. A pretty high rarity score. I don't know the exact rarity score. 0.3%. Let's say that.
All right.
Okay. I'm just making it up now.
Yeah, just fully. Okay, so we want I did a Mo Pete teammate that played for the Wolves. We want coached by Dwane Casey and played for the Wolves. And rarity score doesn't matter. Like I gotta go. I gotta do something somewhat rare. Let me try Irvin Johnson, not Magic.
Irvin Johnson, not Magic. He coached the Wolves between 05 and 07. Irvin Johnson finished up his career with the Timberwolves in... Let's find this out. Basketball Reference is melting my computer. 04-05. It's wrong.
Was Trenton Hassel right? Because that was the other one I was going to do.
Trenton Hassel has to be right, I would think. But it's anybody's guess.
I remember Casey talking about Irvin Johnson, but I guess that was from coaching him in Seattle before, which...
Trenton Hassel was there for Dwayne's first season as the head coach. So that would have worked, but Irvin Johnson sadly does not. So you got that one wrong.
But Irvin Johnson did play for the Wolves and was coached by Dwane Casey. So does that...
Well, he wasn't coached by Dwane Casey, though. He was off the team before Dwane Casey left.
He was coached by... Okay, I guess
before he got there.
Role, so it doesn't matter. Okay, fine. Damn it.
Are you having any fun?
No. I'm miserable. Coached by Dwane Casey, under 5 points per game season.
You've got 3 picks left, by the way. You've gotten Sunday Ada Gaines, Nathan July, and Irvin Johnson wrong.
This is absolutely brutal. I'm just getting everything wrong. Let's go. We'll go Lucas Nogueira.
On which one? The
coached by Dwane under 5.
Let me pull it up. Yeah, 2015 to 2018 he spent in Toronto, and all 4 of his seasons were under 5 a game. So you have yourself Lucas Nogueira correct. So you've got 4 guys down correct. You've got 2 guesses left to try to salvage a 6 out of 9 on this grid.
So what are my squares I need? Did I get any? I did Mo Pete for the Wolves, but nothing else.
You need a Raptor who played for the Wolves, a Wolf who was coached by Dwane Casey, a Mo Pete teammate with an under 5 point per game season, and a Raptors teammate of Mo Pete.
Screw it. I just want to name some guys, so I'm just going for it. Mo Pete, under 5, Robert Archibald.
Oh, Robert Archibald. That is a pull. And he played in the 2004 season. Did he average more than 5 points a game? He did not. He averaged 1.0. So that is correct. Robert Archibald, a great pull. Rarity score, 0.012. Well done.
All right. And I still have Mo Pete Raptor teammate too?
Mo Pete Raptor teammate, a Dwane Casey coached
that one,
Wolf.
Bottom left, I'm going to do the other banger brother, of course, Lonnie Baxter.
Lonnie Baxter. I like it. So yeah, all right, not bad. You saved yourself a 6 out of 9 here, James. Not so bad. I will say, had you said Nathan July as a Raptor who played for the Wolves, you would have gotten that right.
As soon as I said it, I was like, wait, the other team he played for is actually on the stupid grid, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it is on the stupid grid. So 6 out of 9 your first try. It's okay. We've got 2 more for you. So we'll come back on the other side, see if you can go immaculate on the following 2. We'll do that in just a sec. Before we do that, however, just a reminder, go check out Locked On Blue Jays. Maybe they're doing some immaculate baseball grids over there. Go check it out. Kelly Gridber or something like that. If you don't need to steal that, Craig. Go listen to Craig Ballard, however. He does a great job keeping tabs on the Jays every single day throughout the season as the playoff chase is very much on, and you can find the show for free wherever you get your podcast and on YouTube. All right, James, are you ready for the next Gridstian Koloku? I think it's actually good. It's really rolling off the tongue now.
I'm not... Yeah, Gridstian Koloku. Everybody's saying it.
Everyone's saying it already. The podcast isn't even posted yet, but it's already gone mainstream. It's wild. All right, let's go to the next one here. We're bringing
Did you
up.
Consider like Grido Caboclo at all, or no?
I do have. Want me to run through the list of potential names I have? I have a notes app with a bunch of them. You could tell me if I did better with Gridstian Koloku than any of these other ones. Tracy McGrady.
Oh, that one's really good.
It sounds too much like the Philadelphia Flyers mascot, I think. Grid Steamsma, pretty boring, but Joey Gridham, Freddie Gridespi. Grids Jeffries. And then Sudokiata Gaines was the other one I had to bring up a guy you just mentioned. I think I chose correctly with Gridstian Koloku. Anyway, let's bring up the second one, shall we? Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. As ready as I'll ever be.
Great. All right. We have top left, a Raptor who only played for the Raptors. Top middle, a Raptor who played for the Boston Celtics. Top right, a Raptor who played for the Sacramento Kings. The second row on the left, we have a 1995 inaugural Raptor from 95-96, an inaugural Raptor who also played for the Celtics in the middle, and an inaugural Raptor who also played for the Kings on the far right. In the bottom, we have a Kyle Lowry teammate who played for the Raptors, a Kyle Lowry teammate who played for the Celtics, and a Kyle Lowry teammate who played for the Sacramento Kings. I actually think this one might be easier, but you go ahead, James. You have 9 picks. You're trying to go immaculate here. 6 out of 9 was your score on the first. What do you got?
Middle right, Walt the Wizard Williams, I think, played for the Kings.
Walt Williams. Let's have a double check on Basketball Reference. That does sound right. Walt Williams. Here we go. He played a grand total of 101 games for the Toronto Raptors and played 238 games for the Sacramento Kings. So Walt Williams is correct. You are on the board with a pretty high rarity score, like a 2.3%. Well done.
Nice.
Again, these are all arbitrary percentages.
I got like a couple ideas for the Celtics one from those Raptors, but I don't. Do I go conservative or do I go like? I'm gonna come back to that. Can I reuse Esposito?
You can reuse Esposito if you want.
I'll just reuse Esposito, the middle left.
All right. Middle left, original Raptor who played in 1995-96. Yep. Vincenzo Esposito, a coward selection, but I use Theo Ratliff basically every day in HoopGrids, so I can't really throw stones. Yeah. Let's go to your next one.
Let's go to the middle. AC Earl.
AC Earl. Played, of course, on those inaugural Raptors, and let's just
And he had the best revenge game in NBA history when he dropped 40 on the Celtics.
Yes, he played 2 seasons for the Boston Celtics and was not very good. Yes,
and did nothing,
correct. Yeah.
And then scored 40 on him somehow. It's amazing.
His season average in the 95-96 season for the Raptors was 7.5 points a game, buoyed largely, it seems, by that game. He just played 42 games, so good for him.
Yeah.
You're 3 for 3, doing well on the rarity as well. Vincenzo Esposito, AC Earl, and Walt Williams all across the middle. You got your top 2 rows now, or top and bottom rows to fill in.
Kyle Lowry, teammate who played for the Kings. Oh, I have an idea, but it's too risky. Actually, but I guess the rarity score. Do I really give a shit about the rarity score? I don't know. Can I do an easy one and then you tell me if my hard one is right?
Sure.
Okay, so it won't count. It won't matter. But I'm gonna do for the Kyle Lowry teammate who played for the Kings. I'm gonna do Chuck Hayes.
Yeah.
And then is Francisco Garcia right? Like, did he play with Lowry?
Francisco Garcia never played for the Toronto Raptors.
He doesn't have to. Just as Kyle Lowry teammate.
That's right. Francisco Garcia, I think, is right because he, I think, definitely played for both of those teams. And I am going to use him.
But did he play for the Rockets with Kyle, though? Yeah? It was when Kyle
He played for the Rockets in, 2012,
That's my question.
13. Yeah, that would have been
Kyle's
Kyle's
so it wouldn't have
first
been
season in
right. So I'm
Toronto.
glad I didn't do
Nope,
it.
it's
All
wrong. Right. Yeah, good thing. Okay. You're 4 for 4.
Lowry teammate who played for the Celtics. Max Strus.
Max Strus. Wow. Great call. Yeah, he played for. I don't even know if I have to look that up. He definitely played for the Celtics. You are correct. Max Strus. Wow. Rolling, James. Rolling.
Just rolling.
5 for 5. No pressure.
So Kyle Raptors could just be like anybody. Like, it doesn't have to, yeah. Like, I could pick like a current Heat who is on the Raptors or like an old, yeah, okay.
Anybody you want who's been a Kyle Lowry teammate.
Yeah, but I'm just gonna choose some guys that I like here. So I'll go Quincy AC.
Quincy AC also would have worked as a King who played
as
for
a
the
King,
Raptors, of course, as a member of the Rudy Gay trade package. But yeah, Quincy Acey's correct. You are now 6 for 6. You got both bottom rows filled in. You're up to the
I'm
top
feeling a lot
row.
better now.
There you go. I'm glad to hear it. I
Great.
think the last one might drive you insane, but that's for a little bit later.
Oh boy. Okay, so a guy who's only ever played for the Raptors. Let's come back to that.
'Kay.
Raptors, Celtics. See, the problem is there's no good way to fill this time. I'm just thinking about dudes.
That's basically what the podcast is in the summer anyway, so you're doing just fine. We're just thinking about
That
dudes.
is true. Raptors, Kings.
'Kay.
And I'll just keep filling out dudes from that same era with Quincy and Chuck Hayes, etc. And I will go with Patrick Patterson.
Patrick Patterson, great pull. I thought you might go Aaron Gray, but Patrick Patterson
I
works
thought about
too.
that. Yeah, Aaron
The
Gray.
rarity score would have been higher on Aaron Gray, I promise
Aaron
you that.
Gray used to watch tape very attentively in the locker room pregame when I was covering those Raptors teams. He was also like Quincy Acey specifically loved him. They were like very close friends, and like I remember Acey talking about how great of a mentor Aaron Gray was for him, and I just thought that was very sweet.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah, so that's
All right, you got two picks left. A Raptor who only played for the Raptors and a Raptor who played for the Celtics.
Actually, this name came up early. I'll go with Greg Steamsma.
Greg Steamsma, I believe that is correct. Let me just pull up and double check. Is it a bit of a cowardly move to use a name that I accidentally blurted out loud? Yes, but that's fine. Greg Steamsma is correct. Also would have worked as a Wolf in the last one, too.
Yep.
All right, you got one left. A Raptor who only played for the Raptor. Get weird, man. Pascal Siakam.
I'm not doing Siakam. I'm not doing like Van Vliet or Anunoby or anything. No.
I'm a true sicko, okay?
See, I'm still mad at myself for that last one when I had this category. Oh God, this is risky though. I'm gonna try it. Nate Huffman.
Nate Huffman. Let's check this out. For those who aren't aware, James signed into the chat with his name as Nate Huffman, and Nate Huffman is correct. He played 7 NBA games for the Raptors in 02-03. Rest in peace to Nate Huffman, by the way. And he wore the number 7, the greatest number 7 in Toronto Raptors history. All right, well done. You have an immaculate grid here. You got Nate Huffman top left, Greg Steamsma top middle, Patrick Patterson top right, Vincenzo Esposito, AC Earl, Walt Williams across the middle, and Quincy Acey, Max Strus, and Chuck Hayes across the bottom. Are you feeling a little better, James?
I'm feeling better. I was feeling horrible not that long ago, but I'm feeling better.
You did a fantastic job, and very appreciative of you jumping on the show to play a little Gridstian Koloku, the game that's going to take the world by storm. Feel free to play your own version of the game and let us know how you did in the comments as well. James, anything you would like to do to promote or anything like that? And thank you for being such a good sport today.
I have nothing to promote. I will just say I hope if you're listening, you're not afraid to get stuff wrong on HoopGrids. That's part of the game.
Just try it out. What is your philosophy on this? Because like, I've played the hockey one and a little bit of the Immaculate Grid baseball one. I'm awful at both. The hockey and baseball ones, it is immaculate. You can't get anything wrong. Do you like just being able to throw stuff at the wall? Do you prefer that?
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah.
Like, I'm interested in remembering a bunch of like obscure players. I'm not like, oh, I need to absolutely nail all of these perfectly and like do so by just putting in like, I don't know, like Hakeem Olajuwon for Raptors Rockets. Like, no, I'm like gonna figure out something weird.
I think that's the right way to be.
I want
think,
to be sitting
the
here
other way
wondering, like,
is-
did Carlos Rogers play for the like Denver Nuggets? I don't know.
Anywho, James, this was a lot of fun. We will probably play this again at some point. Maybe not. Let us know if it was good podcasting or not. This is what we do in the summer. We try things out. Sometimes it doesn't work, but that's fine. We will leave it there. We'll be back again tomorrow. We've got mailbag shows coming up next week. We've got Canada basketball stuff coming up with our pal Oren Weisfeld as well. So while I'm on vacation, you will still be fully satiated with all of your Raptors stuff for the offseason. But in the meantime, follow James at Outside the NBA. Read all his great stuff over at CBS. Follow me at Woodley Sean. Follow the show at Locked On Raptors. Join the Discord, and the link is in the description. And we will talk to you again on Thursday, another episode of Locked On Raptors. Bye-bye.